Hi everybody, this is Steve at Brass Horse Studio, and in this video I want to talk to you about the second round of PPP or Paycheck Protection Program funding and what could help you increase your chances of receiving these funds and maybe even receiving them faster. So stick with us. All right, so let's get right to it. You've heard all the news about the big companies that received PPP funding in round one. Tens of millions of dollars went to some very large companies, and for publicity reasons, they're starting to return those. But I want to focus today on the small business owner. The small business owner who's the heartbeat of America, provides American jobs, American incomes, and they work really hard, and you felt left out in the rain in the last round. So I hope that some of the things I'm offering to you today could increase your chances of receiving these funds, maybe even receiving them quicker. Now, small business community banks and credit unions were kind of the heroes of round one for a lot of small businesses. They were much more responsive because they were real humans involved, talking to lenders or talking to these borrowers and finding out your exact situation. But they were overwhelmed. However, they've had a couple of weeks now to tweak their systems. Many of them have gone to online application systems, which will make it easier for them to streamline getting those applications through the Small Business Administration's processing system, E-Tran, which they're waiting to reopen. Now, the second round of funding is $310 billion for the Paycheck Protection Program only, and about $60 billion for the EIDL grant program. As far as we know, the EIDL grant program is going to go just as it was before. It's just got more gas in the engine to run, which is about $1,000 per employee. And then if you need a loan for other things because of loss of revenue during this time, they're entertaining those loans. The Paycheck Protection Program has $310 billion, $60 billion of which has been dedicated to small banks and credit unions, which is good. It's like a Disney Fast Pass for small banks and credit unions that'll go directly to them, and they don't need to worry about competing against big banks. But there's a lot of money still available for a lot of other kinds of lending institutions. So I want to give you this advice. First of all, obviously, go to your small regional community bank and go to their website to see if they've automated their application system. Many of them have had the last couple of weeks to do things like that. If not, call, see if you can get an appointment with a lending officer. And that way, you'll be kind of standing in the front of the line. But if you have already done that with a small bank or credit union in your community, let me suggest that you consider using an online fintech company, financial technology company. Those are online banks, and they are legitimate banking components. So you could consider using PayPal or Square. Even if you don't use their payment systems, you will need to form a business account with them, but you can do so very quickly online. It's very quick, and you can apply through them. They processed a lot of applications very quickly. There's other online systems like QuickBooks Payroll and some other QuickBooks small business packages. So if you already are a QuickBooks user, go to their website, log in, and look for the QuickBooks Payroll or QuickBooks self-employed packages for the Paycheck Protection Program. Other companies like Cabbage, Veeam, Bluevine, and others are also approved SBA lenders during this time, or they are working with an online bank that they can process your loan through, and they'll receive a small commission for directing your loan through that bank. But they are genuinely working on the other end of those applications. So you may want to consider companies like that, which might be able to move a little more quickly and get loans processed. Now, you likely are going to need to start a business account with them, so they'll have a place to directly deposit that money if you're going to be funded. So your first tip was to go to a local community bank or credit union. And the second tip was to go online to a fintech company like PayPal or Square or the others that I mentioned. And there's more. You can Google this very quickly, online PPP lenders or something like that. And the third thing I want to tell you is to make sure that your paperwork is in order. Now, I've talked to commercial lenders who have said they are relying on the last guidance from the Small Business Administration, which came out on April the 15th. I made a video about this and I'll put a link to that over my head. And in that guidance, the SBA made it clear that they're relying for sole proprietors, 1099 employees, gig economy workers, any small business owner, small LLC partnerships, things like that, to use a Schedule C. If you use a Schedule C for your tax return, to use line 31 from your 2019 Schedule C. Now, the guidance on that was pretty clear from the SBA on April 14th and April 15th. And that guidance was very clear about using line 31 on your Schedule C from your 2019 1040 tax return. So if you had a loss on line 31, you would be ineligible for this program on page 6 of the guidance from the Small Business Administration on April the 15th. And I haven't seen any changes to that for the second PPP package. Now, if you have net gain or profit on line 31 of your 2019 Schedule C, then you would divide that by 12 for your monthly profit and then multiply that by 2.5, which is the limit you can borrow for the Paycheck Protection Program. And again, that is to go to payroll. Payroll-related items must be 75% of that total number to be forgiven, and the rest would be mortgage, interest or rent, and utilities. Okay, now if you can't justify that when you ask for forgiveness, then the parts that you can't justify would become a loan, 2-year payable loan at 1%. Those are the current terms. I have not found any guidance that has changed. If I do, I'll certainly let you know. I know how important that is. And I really appreciate you watching. If you are a small business owner, please let me know in the comments down below the kinds of things that you would like to learn once we are through this quarantine. I've got some other videos, one I'll link at the end of this one, for managing employees that are working at home online, and for how to prepare your business while you're waiting to reopen, if you're waiting to reopen your business, the kinds of things that you can focus on now to strengthen your business. So I'd love to hear from you. Please put those comments down below about the kinds of things we can focus on this channel. This channel is dedicated to helping small business owners and managers even after the coronavirus quarantine. I'm Steve Stewart, and I'm a business school professor at a large public university, and I focus on helping entrepreneurs and startups and small business owners. And so please let me know how I can help you.